Hmm. Well, the madness continues, ladies and gentlemen. Now we've got some sort of conversation going on in regards to Dumfries, possibly Reece James as RCB. I don't know how I feel about that. But then there's others that are saying that there is no conversation with Dumfries. There's talks about Fofana. Let's get on with this.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get on with the latest that's happening with Chelsea transfer rumors, news, whatever you might say. If you've missed out on the earlier stream that we had, which was in regards to Timo Werner and a couple of other topics, do check that out. Timo Werner is linked with several clubs at the moment. He needs to go. But right now, we're going to focus on Dumfries. Nizar Kinsella, look, I don't know how much I can take this particular brother's information as legitimate. He's been getting a lot of things wrong. And it seems like Nizar is going out there and just basically, is gossiping. There's no substance to it. But look, Dumfries isn't a player that we haven't been linked with. We have been linked with Dumfries earlier on due to Romelu Lukaku. How do I feel about Dumfries? I don't mind him, but I don't like this concept that if we get Dumfries, that he is going to be the starting right wing back, and then we're looking at Reece James as an RCB. A team that already struggles with goals and assists. Reece James has absolutely blown it apart last season. I believe, 6 goals, 9 assists, something like that. We're going to have a look at very soon in the Premier League. From that right side, yeah, he can play as an RCB and he can do a job, but I think it really reduces his attacking threat. Now, a lot of people may say, but means, from an RCB role, it can explode into, that he can drive into midfield. He can sometimes, take long-range shots, so on and so forth. But as a right wing back, Reece James will always get the opportunity to be the furthest right player and enter in an angle into the box. So many goals that he scored last season. I think that seems to be one of his assets, one of his strengths. Why take that away? Someone like Dumfries could possibly do that, but once again, we already have Reece James who's capable of doing that. Why try and change that at the moment? Unless we're thinking Dumfries is someone who can play RCB, perhaps, then maybe that's something we can look into. But even if Dumfries come in, I'd still have Reece James as my number one wingback, and then Dumfries could be the rotational player, because at the end of the day, Reece James needs to be protected. That's how I look at it. But before we start on all of that, I want to show you why this whole creating scenario is so huge for us. Have a look at this. CFC Central, as you guys know, by the name Sam, who was on this channel maybe about a month ago, we had a fantastic conversation. He just tweeted this out and it absolutely blew my mind away. Look at this. Chances created for Chelsea in the Premier League. 11-12 Mata, 102. 12-13 Mata, 97. 13-14 Hazard, 93. 14-15 Hazard, 100. Fabregas, 95. Like, the plethora of chances being created here. 16-17 Hazard, 88. 17-18 Fabregas, 91. Hazard, 84. 18-19 Hazard, 98. Now have a look at 21-22. Havertz 20 plus Timo 9 plus ZH 30, Lukaku 21 plus Pulisic 15 equals 95. Oh, this gives me a headache. This really does give me a headache. I mean, this is pathetic. This really is pathetic. And now I'm starting to think, honestly, Thomas Tuchel's handicapped. He really is handicapped. These players, they're meant to be good quality attacking players. Thomas Tuchel surely will not sit there and teach them how to create. Like, you can have training drills as to what the pattern of play may be, but when it comes to creativity, that's your vision, that's your own skill set that you need to use in order to create opportunities for goals. Movement. We've got players that have got really good movement, but how many times we don't seek them out? How many times do we see last season, Lukaku with a good run, or Timo Werner with a good run, or even Havertz with a good run? But some of our players are just not willing to take that risk to make those passes. And this is quite scary, if I'm being absolutely honest. So when you look at that stats and then you think about someone like Dumfries coming in, which is fine, it shouldn't overly impact, but then you're taking away a player like Reece James, who is a great contributor to our goals and assists. For me, it seems strange. And as I keep saying, if you're going to go to Inter Milan, you're better off getting Milan Skriniar because we need a RCB. That's the most important position that I feel that we need at the moment in defense. Yes, we need a wing back as well. But if you're going to Inter Milan, you might as well get Skriniar. And Dumfries is touted to be somewhere around 40 million euros. You might as well add another 20, 25 million and try and see if you can secure Skriniar. But this is the latest from Nizar Kinsella, ladies and gentlemen. Standard Sport, as I said, since he's gone over there, his news, I don't know. Chelsea have moved on to the Inter Milan wingback Denzel Dumfries after missing out on Jules Kounde. Milan Skriniar, valued at £59 million, is another defender interesting the Blues. I'd still be looking at Milan Skriniar. But these are some of the stats, once again, for Dumfries. He's got contract till 2025, so he's got a couple of more years left, so it's probably the right time. So actually 3 more years left. He could possibly stay. I don't know whether Inter Milan are going to be open to selling him right now. I think they're more open to sell Skriniar because he's far more marketable. Not to say Dumfries isn't, but they're going to get a lot more money from Skriniar. 25 million is what Transfer Market is saying, but it's touted to be about 40 million euros. Look at this: 5 goals, 5 assists, 1 assist in Champions League, 1 in Italy Cup, 5 goals, 7 assists in 45 starts, which is, not bad. Not bad. As a wing back, it's fairly decent. But look at what Reece James has done as a wing back. 22 years old. Don't forget Dumfries is older as well. 26. Look, it's not supremely old, but I'm just putting out the facts that Reece James is younger. Look at Reece James' stats, man. 5 goals, 9 assists in the Premier League, 1 goal in the Champions League, 1 assist in the EFL, 6 goals, 10 assists overall out of 39 games. So he's he's played 6 matches less, but look at the minutes. Dumfries has played 2,849. Reece James played quite a lot as well. I thought he actually played less. Then again, I suppose, we play a lot of matches in domestic and in Champions League, but there was a lot of them there was a major part of the season as well where Reece James was injured. But I don't want to take away these numbers from Reece James by plugging him in an RCB position, which for me, as I said, he will do a job, but ultimately it's cutting him down. Now, a lot of people are saying this: look, he can move from this position into advanced situation and still be a bit of a threat, Reece James. But this is the difference. When he's playing as a wingback, as you can see over here, he gets into these areas and then drives in diagonally into the box in these areas where he's been very effective, whether it's been an assist or goal. How many times we've seen him score a goal from this position last season? It's quite mad. Now, that's coming from a wingback. As an RCB, you don't expect an RCB to be here. You don't expect an RCB to overlap. Yeah, there'll be times where he can overlap. We've seen Azpilicueta do that. There will be times where maybe Reece James tucks in and RCB goes up, but it's not going to be a regular thing, in my opinion. Now, you could possibly get the RCB playing in these areas. You could possibly get the RCB coming into the edge of the box in these areas, but predominantly you're going to see them over here. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're probably going to see something like this. Where Reece James is probably the furthest right player. You're probably going to see something like this. Have all of these midfielders, and then you're going to see a situation like that as a RCB on the right side of midfield, basically in midfield position. You're not going to see him predominantly be in these areas. So this is what I mean. You're going to clip some part of Reece James' wings. Like, you don't want to do that. Reece James, in my opinion, from an attacking standpoint, gives a lot to us, to a team that struggles from an attacking point of view. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about Dumfries and Reece James being in RCB position. Look, I have no issues if we get Dumfries, but I wouldn't put Reece James as RCB then. Reece James still for me is number one, and then Dumfries can be a rotational wing back, but that's a lot of money to pay, I suppose, for a rotation. But then again, we do need good backup because Reece James can be injury prone. But let me know how you feel. Next up, Chelsea will try to bring some quality in defense in the next few days. PSG won 55 million to 60 million for Kimpembe. There's no direct contact yet between Chelsea and Inter for Dumfries. So this is what I was saying, the Nizar Kinsella situation. Fabrizio saying there's no direct contact. But look, I can somewhat believe the Dumfries thing because, as I said, when we were talking about Lukaku, Dumfries was linked as well. But once again, Chelsea Football Club, I mean, if Kimpembe is what you want, just go in with it. First, talk to the... Please, ladies and gentlemen, can we make one thing clear? Let's please talk to Kimpembe first, because I feel like I don't know if Kimpembe really wants to come. Here's another situation we're going to waste time and the player's not going to be willing to come. Can we please talk to Kimpembe first if he's keen to go, and then speak to PSG if there is a deal there? Because less than 2 weeks now before the Everton game, and we need defenders. Negotiations between Chelsea and PSG ongoing over Kimpembe. Once again, PSG, can we negotiate with Kimpembe directly? Please, can we actually talk to Kimpembe, see if he's keen? Now, here's the latest. Some of you guys were waiting for this news. Look, we have been linked with him earlier on in the window, but this is back again. Chelsea are set to make an offer for Wesley Fofana, according to Graham Bailey. We did speak about this particular player recently in one of the live streams. My only concern, look, Wesley Fofana as an RCB would be fantastic. He's right-footed. He absolutely, took the Premier League at light in his first season for Leicester. Obviously, last season, horrific injury. He's an up-and-coming superstar. There's no doubt about that. He's rock solid in defense, robust, athleticism off the roof. My issue is, here's the issue with this. Contract till 2027. He just signed a new contract with Leicester last season, because Leicester saw that there's big demands for this particular player. Now, you tell me, that's 5 more years. How are we going to take this particular player away from Leicester? Now, we possibly could. 21 years old, there's a lot going for Wesley Fofana. Do you know what I mean? 1.9 meters tall, 21 years old, up-and-coming superstar, very mature for his age, already shown in one of the seasons in the Premier League before he got injured what a top-notch defender he is. Excellent on the ball. Positioning is brilliant when it comes to defending. Awareness is brilliant as well. He's going to be something around 80 million pounds. If Harry Maguire was 80 million, this guy's a bigger talent. This guy is genuinely a bigger talent for Leicester. So I don't know how we actually. And once again, I don't want a drawn out saga. We need players ASAP. Do you know what I mean? And once the season starts, if we go for someone like Wesley Fofana and he becomes, a regular starter for Leicester, Leicester won't sell him at that point. And Leicester's got no reason to sell him when they've got a contract till 2027. So they hold all the cards here. Do you know what I mean? So they know very well they can use him this season, and he would still hold the value next season. So for me, let's not waste more time. If we can actually do this, we'd have to speak to the player. But then again, I think Leicester's just going to say, no, get away from here, mate, honestly. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, this is a particular news I talked about in my last live stream as well. Do you guys remember? This is what I talked about. David Ornstein, the Orny, how he came out with the news exclusive. New Chelsea chairman Todd Boehly hosting dinner for Premier League counterparts tomorrow night, which is tonight. Execs from other 19 clubs invited to informal events after shareholder meeting. Not all can attend, but seen as nice touch. Now, some of you guys said, Miz, I've got no issues with this. And I said to you guys, look, I've got no issues with him trying to create parties and having a meal. That's what seems like he's so interested about, having meals. We need players in, we need players out, mate. Honestly, we need to hurry up now. If you want to mingle, if you want to create a relationship, if you want to get to know them, no problems. Is this the right time? That's what I was sort of questioning it. And I also said, these American owners back in America, all the owners, they try and tend to stay together because they want to be able to control the league in itself. Because when the owners stick together, they can demand anything from the league. Do you know what I mean? If they want a particular decision, they can come together and put it against the league. Now, look at what Nizar Kinsella is saying here. Boehly Clearlake is keen to take an active role guiding the Premier League to even bigger revenues after buying Chelsea. Now, this is what I said. Boehly and Clearlake, this is not just having a meal. They're not just coming together and just having a social, get together. There's a bigger, deeper meaning. Now, look, getting bigger revenues, maybe it's not a bad thing, but what does it mean? Are we talking about super leagues down the track? Are we talking about different formats? What are we saying? Like, are we talking about maybe taking some parts of the game to USA or some parts of Asia? I don't know. I don't know whether we're going to have certain games played overseas. These are some of the things. These are some of the things to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know how you feel about everything that we've gone and talked about today. Specifically, I want to hear from you guys in regards to Dumfries, Reece James. Where do you see Dumfries playing? What happens to Reece James? Does Dumfries start? Does Reece James still start for you guys as right wing back? Wesley Fofana, the contract situation, is it really going to happen? Kimpembe as well. We need to get a move on. The Premier League season is upon us and we are undercooked massively. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, see ya.